Welcome back to The Authentic Advantage, the show where we explore the stories, challenges, and defining moments that help us become more human, more resilient, and more aligned with who we're meant to be. Today's guest is Lucy Regan, a certified CPCC and ICF accredited coach, founder of Lucy Regan Coaching and what she calls a next chapter catalyst. Lucy works with women navigating some of life's biggest transitions: career pivots, divorce, identity shifts, empty nesting, you name it. And those moments, where you've changed internally, but your life hasn't quite caught up yet. And I like Lucy's approach because she doesn't focus on fixing people. She helps them reconnect with themselves. And after spending years in corporate leadership, raising 3 children, supporting a family through major life challenges, and eventually building a coaching practice dedicated to helping women reclaim their confidence and clarity, Lucy brings both professional expertise and lived experience to her work. So today we're talking about identity, confidence, reconnection, and what it really takes to step into the next chapter of your life. So Lucy, welcome to The Authentic Advantage.
Thanks, Angie. Thanks for having me here. I'm so thrilled. So thrilled.
I am just as thrilled. It has been awesome getting to know you. You are just magnetic, creating powerful moves for women and helping them create those shifts. Before we kick it off and dive into your expertise, I want to start with a fun would you rather.
Mhm.
But before we do, what's one thing people assume about you that isn't true?
That I say, mate, throw a shrimp on the barbie. Number one, we eat them raw. We don't put them
Yeah.
on the barbie. I actually don't say the word mate. I grew up in the outback, like on a sheep property, working the whole time. This is they have no idea how red soil, flat, just such a different way of living, which is amazing, builds strength and very grounding.
Yeah, well, it's funny how Americans think, right? Like we have these assumptions about people in other countries, and then one thing I find we like to do is mimic the accent, right?
Mhm. They do. They love it. And they get confused. They're like, South African? I've been told I'm from the South. I'm like, keep going. Southern Hemisphere. Really South.
Little more south.
Yeah, keep going.
So, diving into the would you rathers, I have 2 really
Mhm.
good ones.
I love this game.
Would you rather lose all your fears or lose all your doubts?
Undoubtedly, and pun intended, losing all my doubts. I know how to tackle fear. I know I've made many moves with fear in the room. I would love the doubts to just be like, you know what? Just leave me alone. Trust me. Trust me. It's okay. And maybe it's just helping me build that strength, continuing to build the strength of questioning it. And then like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm on the right path. Next step. So definitely get rid of doubts.
Even sometimes after you commit to something, those doubts pop in, right? Like, are you sure? And then you
Yeah.
start questioning yourself. So I agree. I would choose the same thing. Okay. Would you rather spend an hour talking to your younger self or an hour speaking to your future self, whatever age that may be?
Definitely future self, because I'm fascinated with, I know what my younger self would say, but doing, as we talked about the future self visualization that I do with people and clients, the wisdom and the grounding and the calmness that comes from speaking and tapping into your future self and what that conversation is so powerful. And that's helps with the trust. It helps build the trust. Okay, just keep trusting myself. Just keep going. So definitely the future self. It's fascinating.
So, yeah, I mean, we'd be able to gain some insight, right? But you said this is something that you do with part of your coaching.
Yeah, I do it pretty early up front, and I also do it with coaching immersive experiences, workshops, where we actually do this visualization called the future self. And we help you get out of the weeds and pull back is the big picture of the exercise, where you can tap into what would that future self version of me say? What do
Hmm.
I have to say about the 20 years in between or the 50 years, whatever the time frame is? And they get what's a gift? They give them a gift, and it's fascinating what the gift represents to the people, the participants, and what's a name, an image, a mantra, a color, and we bring that into daily life so we can tap into that version of ourselves. So then we go, what would my future self be proud of me today to do? What would she be proud
Yeah.
of me? What would she thank me for?
I
today.
really, really like that. I think maybe you and I need to try that exercise. I can
Love to
imagine
do
how
it.
powerful it is, right? Like just you
It's very
talking about
powerful.
it is making me.
It's an anchor. We use it as an anchor. So when all those
Yeah.
we talk about all those doubts keep popping up, what would the future self say? What would she say to me right now about those doubts? What would she say to the doubt voice, that mean kind of critic voice?
Yeah.
Well, and then get them to talk. It's really cool in sessions when I get the clients to talk first person to the different voices in their head.
Yeah.
It helps calm the voices. It's really great to witness. Yeah.
Very powerful stuff. Before becoming a coach, you had a very successful career in business development, right? And leadership as well. So, what led you to leave that path and start this one?
So essentially life threw a hand grenade in, and I
As
loved
it
my
always does.
career as it does when it can. I loved my career and really enjoyed pursuing it, very ambitious. And then my eldest child drowned at the age of 4 and survived and had 2 years of medical issues after that. And at the same time, my second child, who was 2 years old, was really struggling with a processing and development delay that I then launched into 5 years of therapies 4 days a week for him. And then I had a third kid amongst all that, who was actually born with a medical
Wow.
issue that and with no family. My husband at the time, and surprise, surprise, spoiler alert, got divorced. But my husband at the time was pursuing building the business, and that took all of his energy and time. So I was solo dealing with this where I just couldn't do both. And at the end of the day, my
Yeah.
priorities were the health and wellness and survival of my children. So it was really hard. It was exceptionally hard. I lost the identity. Loved the self-esteem that you get from having a career and no one saying, great job, wiping the butt or wiping the floor or another 5,000 meal. It was really hard to find the community that was like-minded, that missed their career also. It was a big lesson in life on,
Well, the fact that you went and found a community is step one. I think that being a stay at home parent has got to be one of the hardest jobs you have. It really, there is no handbook, like you said. There is no support or very little, especially when you're here from another country and you don't have any family to help out.
yeah.
So finding that community was probably key, but definitely props to you. What I love is having that lived in experience, and you've had that corporate experience. You had that experience of staying home and being a mom and overcoming, these challenges. And now you're able to help other women. So, with many of the women that you work with that feel stuck, right, between like who they were, maybe leaving corporate and then who they're becoming, why do you think that phase feels so uncomfortable to begin with?
Yeah, I hear it every week. I hear it every week that they feel a disconnection, a feeling off. We've also got perimenopause and menopause in the picture. So let's not ignore like that is it's forcing us to stop in physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and reassess what's going on with our lives. The theme of why we feel so stuck is because we're existing from an older version of ourselves and we've built a life around that older version. And that older version,
Mm.
it's very functional. It's helped us get to this point. Yeah, it was successful in its entirety, but it's not anymore because the we're not who that person is. We tolerate different things, our expectations, responsibilities, roles, I think I already said that, are all different. What our career lights us up differently. Our priorities and what's important to us are different. Our goals in life are different. And the roles around us, our kids are getting older. They demand different parts of us. And
Mhm.
there's this space. I found this head space where I came out for air post my divorce saying, what about me? What do I want? It was so bone dry, my bucket, that, and it's what so ignites me about working with women and igniting midlife women, is that putting ourselves first again. And
Right.
we're programmed to put, women and our generation are putting everyone else first. And we feel stuck because we suddenly go, oh, is this the life I want? I should be grateful. Oh, should just stay safe and be grateful. But that friction, that internal friction, it doesn't go away. That quiet whisper just gets stronger and stronger. And it's so important not to do something about it because otherwise resentment, creeps in.
Yes, for sure.
I had a
So it's like we're finally able to say, "Hey, what do I want?" But it feels comfortable letting go of that identity, right? Because we identify ourselves with people, places, things. So my
It's
next
an
question would
identity
be,
shift.
yeah,
It's a true identity shift that happens. It's happening irrelevant whether you want it to happen or not.
exactly. Yeah.
It
And this
it's
happens many times throughout our life, but this is one of the major ones,
oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's a gift. It's a gift for us to wake up and go give ourselves permission. We've talked about this. It's a huge part of it is giving ourselves permission to think about ourselves and ask
Yeah.
ourselves, what is feeling off? And getting honest with ourselves with compassion. And what do I really want with my life? We have a whole, I call it chapter 2. I think we have 3 chapters. We have this whole chapter. We're so wise, talented, drive, energy that we want to go after life. We don't want to look back and go, oh, we live with regret.
When we're making this shift, what are some of the biggest fears you see women struggling with when they're considering making a major life change?
I think they assume it means not a blow up, not a, what do you call it? A glow up. It's a blow up.
Yeah.
They think it's blowing up your life. They think it's a life reinvention. They think we need to they feel like, oh, I want a bulletproof plan before I make a move. And nothing's bulletproof.
Uh,
We know that by now. Life is not bulletproof. They want to feel ready, and we are never going to feel ready. If we felt ready, that means we're playing it safe.
yep. And we don't want to play. I mean, safe feels nice. It's comfortable, but I agree with you because I believe success is on the other side of fear. And
Yeah.
that uncomfortable feeling, that's what you should be chasing. That's how you know you're in the right space. Yeah, it's scary, but that's where growth comes from, right?
When the fear is there, you're like, oh, I'm on the right path. And it
Yep.
doesn't have to be white knuckling fear. It can be that excited nervousness. Ooh, what's behind that door? What happens if I
Yeah.
open it? So let's just open the door, crack it open and experiment and see what's the other side. We don't have to commit to a 5-year plan, a 6-month plan. It can be a 1-day plan, a 1-week plan, just trying it on and experimenting. How does that feel? Is that aligned with what I want in my life? And giving yourself permission to explore what you want. And you don't know until you experiment with potential different ways of what can fulfill you.
That's so true. And you talked about this earlier, having like this entire plan in its entirety built out before you make a move. But just sitting there staying stagnant doesn't help you. And it's those baby steps. So if you were to talk about one mindset shift that often creates the biggest breakthrough for your clients, what would that be?
And I think I've already done this bit of a spoiler alert. One would be giving yourself permission to put yourself first. That's a big shift. It's a big
Yeah.
deal. And it sounds easy, but we know in life it's a big deal. And 2, you do not get what you want in life by thinking, you do it by moving. So you talked about that just briefly just now. Action.
Yeah.
Action will give you clarity. Action will give you confidence. Action will give you feedback. Whether it's the right or wrong direction, whether it works or it's failure or success, it's still giving you feedback and you're one step closer to what is right for you in your life, career,
Yeah.
relationships, everything. For
Well,
achieve.
I like the story that you told me earlier. You were telling me about how you first started your coaching business. And
Oh,
you were
yeah.
just like, "Oh, where do I set?" Like, yeah, I want you to tell the audience because that's a great example of taking those little steps, right?
Yeah.
And creating the movement.
And as we know, life's not linear. So I looked at this same coaching program when I was 28 years old. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Not ready. Felt pyramid scheming. Oh my God, I freaked myself
Yeah.
out. And then I didn't go back to it for less than 20 years, but nearly 20 years. And then I'm like, okay, I didn't force myself. If I was frozen for a while, I'm like, how am I going to make a business plan? Who am I to do this? How am I, what am I going to, how am I going to make money doing this? I started with, let's commit to the training. Let's do the first module, then the next module. And then the 6 modules later, I'm like, this still feels aligned. I feel like it's the first time in my life that I am really good at it. It lights me up. I'm so fired up about it. I could do this for free. I could do this all day long. And then I did the certification. And then after certification, which is very intense, then clients and then workshops. And then I continually push myself. bit by bit to help myself grow and learn and work with women that I love working with. It's baby steps. It's not having to, we're not blowing up your life. It's not a reinvention. This is not a midlife reinvention. This is coming back to the core of you and listening to that. And we also talked about this self-trust gap. By
Yeah.
action builds the self-trust. And the only way to do it is showing proof to yourself.
That was going to be my next question. How do we stop looking for permission from other people and start trusting ourselves?
We get very clear on what we want. Is this honest? It's that honest first step. Very clear on what feels off, where we don't. So I call it fear is disguised by responsibility. I will wait or wait for the kids to leave home. I'll wait for, just kicking the can down the road. When we get honest with ourselves and name what feels off, then we start to calm and feel more grounded and trust
Mm.
ourselves to then go, okay, what do I want? We're naming the white elephant in the room. You and I have talked about the Aussie thing is naming the white elephant in the room. It's naming the white elephant in our life. It's what's pulling us back and holding us back because we're gripping onto this old version of ourselves, but we're no longer that version of ourselves. So get very clear, getting really honest what feels off, get clear on who you want to be.
Yeah.
So what are your core values? And there's exercises, free exercises that can help you with that. Really, what do I want in my career, my relationships, my financial, my life? And then taking one baby step, just one step. The lower the pressure, keep it really small. If it feels too big, make it smaller, but do it. Put an
Yeah.
accountability structure around it. And then that's feedback and proof to yourself that you can do it. And then what's the next step? And then what's the next step?
Yeah. One step at a time. And I
One
think it's important that when you're listing out what you want, don't make excuses when you're doing it, right? Because that's what we do. "Well, I want this, but no buts." Really get honest with what you want because I've done an exercise like this. And to your point, it is very valuable. And that's how you're going to start trusting your intuition and knowing what's right for you. So I would like for you to walk us through what happens when someone first comes to you. They're feeling lost or overwhelmed or uncertain about what's next.
So, what I was going to say is what you're just saying is that it's very hard to do that on your own. I didn't fully explore that until I hired my own coach.
Hmm.
It's very hard to do that in your own bubble. So, women come to me because they're at a crossroads. They don't feel fulfilled. They feel lost, stuck, lost their mojo, lost their confidence. These women are all really resourceful and capable. Built businesses, CEOs, going back to work. So, we get, first of all, by committing to have on someone by your side helps also that inner critic to calm down and go, okay, she hears me. She
Yeah.
hears me and she's doing something about it. So we do every client is very customized. So I don't have a cookie cutter approach. It's very personalized. Essentially the big picture is we get clear on what their core values are. We get clear on their version of their future self. And there's through a visualization exercise and also the leader within. I do a visualization exercise and that helps bring up outside of the noise that version of themselves of who they are down deep. We put a name, a color, a mantra, a song, a body position somatically, and then we bring that into daily life. We also name all we call the limiting beliefs or the inner critic, monkey mind, whatever you want to call it. We put names to those too. And what's that body position? So if it's like this, a lot of clients, they fold in and that version, that
Mm.
voice gets really loud. So we name it. So we're not pushing it away. The more we push it away, the more energy it takes to resist it. When we bring it in, we're actually letting it have a voice to be seen and heard so it calms down. And the
Yes.
people learn to play in the same playground.
Right. And just learning the distinction between the two, very powerful.
and learning to know which one is driving the bus. So
Hmm.
when you somatically know what the body position or how it feels in your body when that voice is at play, and you have higher awareness of what that voice is saying to you, then you go, you're at choice to let that voice make the choice to make the next decision of who's driving the bus. Be like, ah,
Because you're more aware, right? You're more aware
yeah,
of, okay, wait, where is this coming from? Who is it? Oh, okay, this is my inner critic, or this is, yeah.
yeah, you're
And that's
more
the first
aware of
step.
it.
That's the first step right there.
That's the first step. And then you choose what the next step action is from which voice you're choosing to listen to. That, and you're very aware of the outcomes of both. We're very aware of, and I do this with my sessions, is what is the outcome with compassion, not with judgment? What is the outcome of listening to that voice? Where is it going to leave you? And then
Right.
what's the outcome and what is possible? And what if it all works out? I plant that seed and the clients, you can see the energy completely shift.
Yeah,
Having
because we
some,
never actually think about that. We always think about what's going wrong. We're never thinking about, but what if it goes right?
yeah, can you imagine if we put all that energy of the anticipatory energy we put like trying to avoid future problems, if we put that to what can work out and imagine what that would work out, and then taking a
Yeah.
step now towards that version, that serves us.
Do you have a client transformation story that really sticks with you today that you can share?
Trying to think which one to choose. Uh, One client, I'll talk about this one client. She came to me. She has a child who's on the spectrum. Her husband works 60 hours a week.
Mm.
She was working in office and trying to do this juggle and she's a beautifully creative designer, and she felt trapped and had no time for herself. I mean, talk about zero time for herself, for her dreams, her wishes. So she came in really wanting to feel alive again, want to feel ignited.
Yeah.
And so in the evolution of working together, it gave her space to give herself permission to voice what she wants in her life, to have a a spot in her life, a role, literally. And she did with this amazing in part of the session, she had this dream of wanting to go horse riding ever since she was young. And so I did this challenge. I want you to go take a lesson. She's like, no, I can't do that. That sounds so frivolous. I'm like, I challenge you to go do it. She accepted the challenge and went, and it became a really strong, powerful analogy for her of taking the reins in her life. And it mirrored back
Right.
to her work career. What can I do to take the reins in my life? She ended up getting a full-time remote job so she could juggle her child and her child's activities and therapies and schooling. She had time to then pursue her creative. She was also building an Etsy store to build that creative outlet for her. She
Love
then,
that.
in the clarity of the work together, she got very clear on type of industries she wanted to work for, the type of team she wanted to work for, and she built that voice and confidence to ask for it. That's a big part of this. She was so clear what she wanted that she then felt confident to say what she wanted. And by asking for it, the way she presented herself in interviews and her energy, that came across that she was the right fit for this job. So she ended up in a full-time remote, much more creative industry and vertical that and role. And then they saw how amazing she is, and she's got promotions since. So since she started seeing herself for how amazing she is, then other people saw that too. There's a big analogy.
Oh, yeah, like, what we put out is what we're gonna receive back, right? And so when you have that confidence, people read that, and I mean, this just shows how powerful it is to work, do some of that inner work with somebody, and it is very different. I've done the self-help approach and I've done the coach approach, and
Mhm.
having that accountability and perspective from someone and really show you, maybe what you're not seeing, it
Yeah.
does wonders. And so I know, and plus, who doesn't want to work with such an amazing personality such as yourself? Like, seriously, your energy is just awesome. And not only that, you're very, very, very passionate about what you do. I see every time we talk, I just feel it from you. You absolutely love helping people. And that
Mm.
makes the big difference, in my opinion, because when you absolutely love what you do, you put more behind it. This isn't just a
Yeah,
job for you.
it's not.
This is something that you really feel inside to your core, and you want others to feel as well, and I could feel that from you. So my
Yeah,
last question on your coaching process, I just
yeah.
wanna know is what surprises people most about the coaching process? Right?
So
Because I'm sure people have expectations when they come in, like, "Okay, we're gonna
yeah,
do a system, we're gonna do this."
they don't realize how much forward momentum. So it's depth or awareness, depth, either one, wherever it starts, and then action. And it can be a prompt, it can be a reflection prompt, or it could be a physical action. And the biggest thing I think is the ripple effect across your whole life. You're a whole human. Even if you come in through the door of career, you then look at all the relationships in your life. You look how you're showing up on this planet.
Yeah.
And then the voice, you have one voice, one human, one heart, one mind, my body. How do you want to present that and be that in this lifetime? And then that shows in everything else. I've had a couple of clients where friends of theirs didn't know they were working with a coach. They're like, something's happened, something's shifting, something's different about you. It's like, oh, wow. I've been working with
Well,
someone
actually
actually because they're showing up differently. They're showing up as their true self. They're not hiding or shrinking physically and and literally.
Yeah.
Yes, in all ways.
That's incredible, and I know that feeling. You go in with one expectation, and then you're there, and you're like, "Wow, I had no idea this is what I was gonna be shown." So, what is something that you wish every woman knew before entering this major life transition? When we talk about, like, perimenopause and letting go of these identity shifts.
That nothing's wrong with you, that you've changed.
And
And
that's okay.
and that's okay. And it's happening no matter whether you like it or not because of perimenopause and menopause. And you come out for the better. You lead a life that is true to you because all my work's about the truth. We come back to the truth. What's true for you? So imagine living a life. What's possible of living a life when you're being true to yourself and not denial and not shrinking? I mean, what if it all works out? What's possible? It's just this opens up the planet of what's possible for yourself and feeling so alive and light. There's a lighter feeling that I continually see with clients.
Like you said earlier, it's our second part of life.
Mm.
Like, this is a start over. This is a
This
good
is chapter
thing. It's not
two.
a bad thing.
This
Now
is
look, the
chapter
symptoms
two.
suck, right? Let's get that out of the way. Call it what it is. When we're
Yeah.
going through perimenopause, menopause, those but everything else, the shift that's gonna come with it, looking at the end of it, we're becoming someone new, almost like you're being born again, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, another thing I would say is it's okay to ask for support. I see so many clients struggling with whether they do HRT, what's working, whether we do suffer from higher anxiety in perimenopause and menopause. There is 60% of women, there's been massive studies done where 60% of women do say there's some form of depression during perimenopause and menopause. It's okay to ask for support. It doesn't mean that you're a failure or something's wrong with you. It means that you're alive and you're human.
Absolutely. Those are really great points. And if someone is listening right now, they feel completely stuck, what's the first step that you would tell them to take today?
To have compassion, to name, to physically write out where they feel off. It's a releasing. And then
Writing is very powerful. I agree.
writing it out. And then do you what do you want? And even if you don't know logistically, who do you want to be? That's more important. Who do you want
Mm.
to be? How do you want to feel? That's where we start. Is how do we want to
Well,
feel?
that's your whole point, reconnecting with yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Even that exercise puts you first. It shows to yourself that you have your own back
Yeah.
and building this self-trust gap. And
I
that
love that.
feeling more safe in this identity shift.
So if someone is looking to work with you, how can they reach you and, get that process started?
So they can just email me, lucy@lucyregancoaching.com. They can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on Instagram. They can look at the show notes and see my
Yep.
I'm very accessible. We do so I work with women one-on-one around the country and in Europe. I also do workshops or coaching experiences, what I like to call them. They're not work. They are what do we want to
An
call it?
experience.
They're an experience where it allows you to step out of the noise and come back to yourself. So I do those locally. I do them online. I do them at retreats. But the one-on-one work, I do an intensive first, a 90-minute intensive, which is much more accessible monetarily wise. And it's 90 minutes where we get very clear on where you're at, what crossroads you're at, who you want to be, what you want, what's in the way. And then I give them a personalized roadmap, and we go over that roadmap and process that in a 30-minute follow-up. So it's a very clear, distinct space to name it all and be very
Yeah.
honest and open about it. And then I'm also act as a mirror. I challenge, I champion, I acknowledge all those
And you
roles.
call the white elephant, which
And I
I
call the
love.
white elephant. And it's great to have someone, especially with the voices in our head that doubt. Like, hang on, that's not true. What's the facts here? I have an exercise that I call flipping the script,
Mhm.
where you have a statement in your head running on replay, but it's not true. It's built up over time as fact, but it's not. So
Right.
so in this intensive, we do that exercise where we list the beliefs and then we flip them and go, what's the actual truth? And then when you look at it from the facts, it's a great tool to use. So we do that in the clarity. And then if I'm the right fit from that intensive, then we work one-on-one, and I have 6-month packages. And the reason why I do 6-month packages, because at the 3-month mark, we really start hitting the stride and we really start practicing and building we haven't really talked about the neuroplasticity.
Oh, I love that.
This
Yes. We do
is
a whole podcast on that.
We did a whole podcast, but this is planting the beliefs that are true, that have the outcome that you want, that are true, that are honest and in your core.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I agree with, 6 months is the perfect amount of time because doing inner work takes time.
yeah, you want time to put it into practice. You want time for it to become a permanent state of being. We're always going to have
Absolutely.
fears. We're always going to have doubts. But having someone beside you to keep practicing, I act as an accountability partner. My clients text and email me, and we have a private WhatsApp group with all my clients that we share. I give prompts each week where I'm there when you wobble and fumble.
I love that. I encourage any woman in midlife ready to make a transition, or is in, the middle of one, please reach out to Lucy. Her energy is amazing if you couldn't tell already. And the thing is so many people, they're waiting for permission to begin their next chapter when the truth is that the answers they're looking for are often already inside of them. And so
Mhm.
I really appreciate you sharing your story, your wisdom, the work you're doing to help women move from feeling stuck and uncertain to living with more confidence, clarity, and purpose. So for those listening, if today's conversation resonated with you, and I'm sure it did with many of you, and you'd like to connect with Lucy, learn more about her coaching and workshops, I'll have it all in the show notes, like I said. And as always, thank you for joining us on The Authentic Advantage. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, share it with someone who might be standing on the edge of their own next chapter. So until next time, stay authentic, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the biggest transformation begins with a single courageous step.